So medical billing in pharmacy, that's one of those things that Josh and I have struggled for a little bit. You know, we were talking to people probably, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, who are wanting to roll out a medical billing solution throughout our software. And there's always been kind of a chicken and an egg kind of thing, right? There didn't seem like enough need to roll out a solution because you had some base cost. What's it going to look like the next couple of years?
I think pharmacy needs to be ready for doing medical billing. And I actually, I'll be honest with you, I'm really, really happy. I push as much as they can. If I'm talking to a payer, do medical billing. I'll just tell you, that's what our conversation is. The whole profession's pushing that way. We'll never, we need, but what we found is through COVID, they set it up that way, but the pharmacy still prefers the easy button going through the claim through the PBM. So I think they need to be ready for both, because some of the payers, it's a lot of work. We're putting it on the payers to change. And if we want to be providers, we're going to have to be like the other providers. Why do we be different? And it almost is like a second business in the pharmacy anyway. I rolled out a bunch of clinical programs early in my career, and you have the clinical folks doing their clinical work, working with the patients. That billing is going to be different than the billing for the claims for the product. So I think they need to figure out a way to either plug in to somebody who already has it or develop their own. There's a lot of opportunity for growth depending on what you want to do. You can take and analyze what's out there, build your own, or use what already is available. It takes a long time to build it from scratch, though, because that relationship with the payers, it's a whole different set of payers that people have never dealt with. So that's what I actually work on that every day, too, by the way. Just listening for problems, solutions. I have an email that I got to send to the pharmacy profession because I was trying to get some input from CMS on a particular challenge that just came up or issue that came up, and we're trying to get it kind of set a little bit better. So I'll after this we're done here, I'll send that out to the pharmacy groups. So it's CMS's response to how to deal with out-of-network providers and some of the issues that pharmacies are facing. So it needs to be into workflow.
So do you see kind of a meeting in the middle? Right now, there's a couple of things that are great about pharmacy claims, right? They're real-time adjudicated. It's very clear. When you look at the medical claims, they're very nebulous. I did X and it may have involved drugs or not. Like I came from a specialty world where now they're using J codes and you get kind of a infused drug, but how much did it cost? We don't know.
Well, and claim billing is pharmacy, and medical billing is the pharmacist.
Correct. It's the pharmacy, pharmacy. It seems like there's things that both medical billing and pharmacy billing can meet in the middle on. Do you see any kind of movement or appetite to do that?
So you have to talk to the health plans. They're the ones that are going to make the decision. So they're the ones that contract out to the pharmacy benefit, Right. So they're paying them to manage that benefit then. So the health plan is the one that's going to have to be talked into it. And whether they want to have pharmacy be different than everybody is another thing. I think the pharmacy profession prefers to be like regular providers and not always do a one-off.
I think they have to be treated the same.
There's more work on the health plan side if they were to do that. Then all that data and all that information they're not going to have, and that's going to be a project for them. It's going to be work for somebody.
Right. No, I think if pharmacy doesn't meet the medical, it's not going to work, right?
That's true. I actually feel pretty strongly about that. For a little while, I didn't early on, I didn't know, like pharmacy billing is really easy. Then I go to compared to medical billing. Medical billing was this, holy cow, I didn't realize it was so complex. However, here's what I think. I think as pharmacy gets in this space, we can provide nicely, not just tell everybody how to change everything, but we could slowly start improving even medical billing because we're really good documenters. Do you know what I mean? We can be very good at this. We can actually probably drive some positive change on the medical side. That's what I think.
Your comment that the pharmacists early on during COVID or through COVID have been a bit hesitant or resistant on using the medical billing side's interesting to me, because you would think they'd be proactively trying to do that because they don't have to deal with the DIR fees on that side of the equation. It's just striking to me that's the observation that you have.
It's happening, and I've visited the payers. How many are you getting through? Well, they like to go on the PBM side. Okay, thanks for the information. I just think because it's a new project to implement and they don't have the bandwidth to do it, that it's a project to implement anything new.
Yep.
And so I really think it's that, and they don't understand it yet. They don't have the staff in place to figure it out and to do whatever needs to do, and there's not enough time to train everybody. But I see, and I know Medicaid space pretty well. Like I see over in Iowa, they're mandating it starting this summer, I guess. So they have to figure it out. So they're going to have to figure it out. And everybody says, well, we don't want to learn it during a pandemic. Well, guess what? This is a great time to learn it, because if you don't start now, we're never going to do it. So anyway, it's moving along. I think people are getting better at it. It just takes time. It's a whole nother project, just like starting regular point of sale billing.
So did I hear you saying Iowa Medicaid is going to require that they use medical billing for vaccines starting this summer? Is that
for everything?
For everything.
Well, for the clinical services. Mm-hmm.
For clinical services, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So drugs will go through the normal process, but anything beyond that will be a medical bill.
Right. So they're going to, and vaccines are kind of a big one. So they're all going to have to be that. So they were already moving along in that direction already. So I think when I have talked to some of the Medicaid programs on the pharmacy side, it's easier for them, for some of them. Every state is a little bit different. That's what the challenge is. But I think they prefer everything. If it's the physicians are doing it this way, let's have everybody do it this way.
Right. Do you see a lot of other states doing that?
I see a lot of states. I have a cheat sheet, like a big cheat sheet that I kind of track. And I see a lot of the states already have medical billing for some of the for the things that we consider counseling or non-product related. Yes, there's a lot of states that have that already built in. It depends on who's influencing them to make go in there and make the changes. What I noticed, because as we were getting ready for COVID, so back in January, February, March, when we knew, okay, we're going to have a vaccine next year. I knew it was a year out. Started going through and seeing how everybody had the billing set up. I noticed that, okay, here's instructions for the physicians, nurse practitioners, PAs. They had it and they could bill anything. Pharmacy, you can only bill flu through your point of sale. Everything else, you're going to have to do this other way. So what we're finding as we started researching this is I realized if the product and the service weren't built into the claim, the pharmacy a lot of times was just not billing the administration fee if it wasn't already built in. They were just giving the vaccine out of the niceness of their heart. And so I was shocked at that a lot of them didn't already have that set up, but now they do. So we need to keep this momentum going.